What's up?
It's been a minute.
It has. We're in a different location. We've done a lot of things.
Big
Been
old
a
bus
while.
is right here.
I know, right behind us now. We don't have to drive to it.
We don't have to drive 20 miles each way to it. 40 miles a day just to go work on it.
Yeah, just in time for the gas prices to spike.
So just a recap of where we've been. The last time we uploaded was like almost 2 months ago. But since the last thing you guys saw, we all painted the wheels, the grill. Probably can't see, but you'll see in the video. The mirrors. Kind of did that just to buy some time while we were waiting to move.
Yeah.
After we did that, our lease was up and then we moved.
Yep.
We packed up all of our stuff, sold a lot of furniture, and that's where we were for a few weeks dealing with all that stuff. And then we used the bus to actually move about an hour north to West Palm, and we live with Taylor's mom for the time being.
Yep.
Until we finish it up. We completed our water system.
Check the leaks.
Yep, we put water in the tank for the first time. That was pretty cool to see. We ran the pump, had the water go through the lines into some buckets and stuff to check for all the leaks.
Had to fabricate some things.
We put the walls up in our closet.
We
put
did.
the ceiling up in our closet.
And we put the shelves and everything up in our closet as well. Finished that off.
Yep, so the closet is done. So that means all the ceiling is done in the whole bus besides the bathroom, which we're putting out on the burner.
Yeah, that's
for
gonna
the end.
take a shower outside. It's too hot.
We finished our bed platform. We cut a whole bunch of holes in a piece of plywood.
For ventilation.
We still need to do the struts to make it go up and down, but we'll wait on that.
We don't really need to get under the bed right now unless,
Yeah.
you know.
We sealed the ceiling with a clear coat, with a water-based clear coat. We did 2 coats. It looks great. It brought out some of the darkness, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
So that's it. And then we bought
Oh, yeah.
all of our electrical stuff.
That'll be
for
our next video.
all of the electrical stuff.
All of the electrical stuff.
Yeah. And while we've been here, we ran into some issues with city and the bus, and I think this will be some stuff that if you have a bus or you're gonna buy a bus, some issues you might run into with code enforcement.
Yeah.
So we've been dealing with some stressful stuff with that outside of actually building the bus while we've moved here within the 23 hours of being here. So we'll put that video at the end, and if you guys are interested in hearing what we have to say, and hopefully
it might be a little bit longer, so we don't want to take away from the actual video.
So hopefully that'll help you.
Yep.
All right, so
That's it.
roll it.
of our, this should have done a long time ago, but whatever. We have more of our water system set up, so we have the connection that goes from the, there you go, from the water tank over to the water pump and then to the accumulator, and then from there we'll have to, we had to get fittings for the like specific fittings for the water heater, and we couldn't find it anywhere, so we ordered them online, so we're waiting for that. This is the hose that we fill it up. That's the one that does the air. And then this little contraption right here we created so that we could let the water out to be able to drain the water tank. So we're gonna put water in it, make sure there's no leaks, and we're gonna go from there.
Yep.
Alright, testing it out. Yeah.
Is it high enough? The water?
Yeah, it's going in.
I thought it was a little bit high.
Beautiful sound. Okay, so we just put in our closet ceiling with a light, and we did these like little cubbies, which was a good idea because we had these studs that were in here. Oh look, he's already got something in here. These little studs, and there's like a good amount of space that we can like have something sit in there, so we decided to whatever, make it. This extra panel doesn't look pretty, but from like this line down is going to be Maverick's bed, and that area, if we ever need to get to our water, you know, our water system, we'll be able to.
We continued it here as well.
Same. We also did that as well here.
So
cut it off.
We don't have to take apart the whole wall.
Yeah,
it's just
deconstruct our whole closet.
a little spot.
And then look at this little contraption. So we built this so that if we ever needed to get to majority of our electrical, we have it. This right here is just going to be closet light. It's not actually.
And then it's going to be screwed in, so it's not like we're going to be opening and closing. It's just for emergencies.
Yep. So there's our closets. Nowhere near done, but you know, we're going to get to it. Dun, dun, dun. Lift the paint in here quickly. So we finished the closet. I primed everything because it's obviously not going to stay white. Well, you don't know that, but yep. So we have our clothing rod going across. We have like, this will be kind of like short storage space. This is where we'll have like our cubbies, like our pull-out drawers. We were gonna do a drawer, but our walls and all of our wood is just super bowed, so we were like, well, let's not make it harder for ourselves. And I don't want to do drawer slides again. And then yeah, that's Maverick's little bed. Cool. All right.
So here's the juicy drama that we've had to deal with. It could always be worse, but we were
not really anticipating this. We were kind of wanting it to be a little bit smooth sailing from here and just work on the bus and focus on the bus and not have to worry about anything else.
Yeah,
but.
So when we moved here, prior to moving up here, I did look at the city enforcement regulations, and I noticed it said motorhomes were allowed, buses, limousines, commercial vehicles were not allowed. So you know, we've been up here before, but it was on a weekend, so we just I thought we could just wing it. I didn't think anything would happen. But
because we'd never really seen anybody like drive around anyways, like
yeah, so
enforcing those things.
So
and I guess they hadn't because of like everything going on, and they just started picking it back up again, really.
So we moved up here the beginning of May, and the day after we came, we actually had to go back and forth to our apartment like 3 or 4 times. We moved here like May 6th. On May 7th, coming
Not
back
even,
here for
like,
moving stuff,
23 hours later.
there was a code enforcement officer riding up the bus as we were backing in and unloading the car.
Really?
And apparently this code enforcement officer loves her job per the neighbors. She's doing a great job at regulating, like really great.
Yeah, because our drift.
Yeah, so she was being very, very not nice at
Picky.
first. And then I asked her, she said it wasn't allowed, blah, blah, blah. We're not blocking the sidewalk, blah, blah. And I said, you know, are motorhomes allowed? Because it said that. And she goes, yes, is this a motorhome? And I said, no, but if it is, what do you need? And she said, show me the paperwork. So that's all it took for us to go and figure out how to get it registered and titled as a motorhome. So we did.
Yeah.
I did all the research. I found out how to do it on YouTube, Google, blah, blah, for our state in Florida. I'll put all that in the description because it is a little lengthy. You have to sign it. You have to print out a packet. It actually tells the employees at the DMV what to do. It's very funny. It says, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, so I went to the DMV for 3 days. It was like 3 separate days. And so I was there the first time. They gave me a bunch of papers to like fill out. Or no, the first day, whatever it was. But they gave me papers to fill out. We had to go get it weighed. So we went and got it weighed. Then the next day or the day after, whatever, we came in, and then afterwards they were able to give us our title, and it said motorhome on it. So we were like, okay, we got the registration right then and there as well too. So that's what we have. You know, we showed them the title, we showed them the registration, and anyways, so we put it on the back window like she told us to. She went out of town for like 3+ weeks. We didn't hear anything back. We tried to call her just to let them know that like, hey, we did what we were told. And so once we finally get an email back from her, she said she spoke with her supervisor, and they were like, well, even though it's, you know, it says motorhome, even though it's titled, you know, as motorhome
in the state of Florida,
not
the city,
yeah,
the state of Florida,
it's not allowed. Yeah. And we're like, okay, you know, we got the, you know, the supervisor's information. I used all of my professional email skills to talk with the supervisor.
Yeah.
And
so shortly after that, I mean, within days, we got an actual certified notice in the mail that the homeowner, which her mom had to sign off from the mailman to make sure that we got it. And it was stating that we had 14 days
from that day
to move the bus. And if we felt like we were in the right, I forget the word, but we can go stand in front of the magistrate. I'm probably destroying that word, but it's like, we can go explain our point of view, which we were actually excited because we were going to do that. And then I read the fine print, and it said, if we were to be found in the wrong, we could be fined $250 a day past our final day of 14 days until the day we got to go speak to all those people. So imagine it took 3 weeks to get that date.
And then we show up wrong.
If we were wrong, we could have spent $250. So I said, you know what? It's not worth the gamble. We're not lawyers. We're not any of that crap. We could be wrong, could be right, whatever. It wasn't worth the money or the time.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? We need to go speak to the supervisor. Just talk to them in person. Enough with this email stuff.
So me and my mom, we ended up going in person, and we spoke with the supervisor. And so we told her, we're like, listen, it's temporary. We're going to be gone by the end of July. I have assignments lined up, you know, for my job. And, you know, we only need a short period of time. We don't want to waste your time. We don't want to do all of this, go through all of this. And I asked her to explain what she said in one of her emails, that the definition of what we were claiming our bus was actually is what their attorney said that made it prohibited by, like, the code ordinances. And because it said that it wasn't primarily designed as an RV or a motorhome.
Being the manufacturer, it wasn't a motorhome.
Yeah, because it was a bus and it manufactured as a bus, primarily as a bus, it wasn't allowed.
Yeah. And this isn't for, like, we already said we moved to West Palm Beach County. Yeah. Do the research for where you're going. This is what's happening in the current city that we're in.
Yeah.
In West Palm Beach County.
And like you said, we're not in an HOA.
This is not an HOA.
We would have been long gone by now.
Yeah, so do your research. Make sure, because imagine if we just bought this bus. We came from a storage lot, and this was amazing. It still is amazing to walk outside to go work on the bus. But imagine if we just bought this, we brought it here, and then, like, then what then? Yeah, and it just almost became a very sticky, stressful situation, because if she said no, we literally would have had to put it in the shop that day, go put all new tires, which we knew we had to do all this, suspension, tires, thousands of dollars worth of work, and then find somewhere to put it, which luckily my father and my stepmom are up in North Carolina, and so they said we can come up there and work on it, which is what I'm going to do in the beginning of August, but we would have had to do that like now. Then
we would have already had to leave.
We would have been gone by now if she said no.
So moral of the story is, you know, do your research, check what is allowed and is not allowed, read the fine print. Yeah. And luckily the supervisor understood our situation, and she gave us till the end of July.
Yeah. So that was very nice of her. She could have said no. She had every right to say no. But luckily she understood where we were coming from and said, just have it out by this day. She's giving us to the end of July, and
Yep.
So it helps us out a lot. That was
That's
a little
our-
long, but
That's our story.
yeah, do your research. Somebody's
Yep.
video where I got the information from on how to get
Yeah.
a motorhome and registered in Florida. That guy also lives in Florida, and he has a 40-foot school bus or something like that, or maybe 30. But he got him same exact situation. Code enforcement officer wrote him up. He went and got it titled and registered as a motorhome. The code enforcement officer came back, wrote off on it, and he was good to go. So that's what I was expecting. So,
Hoping.
hoping.
Well,
But,
if you made it to this long of the video, thanks
Yeah.
so much. Hopefully we gave you some good information.
Yeah. This is really for the people that like have.
And this is
buses
all
and-
like, and even still, like for everybody doing a conversion, like this is all one big learning experience.
Yeah.
Like our next video with like all the electrical,
That's what we're doing now.
Like the same amount of time like on the electrical as he is researching all of the.
It's a nightmare
everything.
sometimes. I'm doing so much research because there's not really a one book how to do it. You don't want to burn the bus down, so you make sure
That
you're
too.
not skipping corners and doing everything correctly.
On my foot.
All right, so
All right.
until the next video, we should have one out shortly. I mean, we're doing a lot of work now recording, so
Yep.
we moved, but
We
we're probably getting ready to move again.
Again.
This is part of moving. I mean,
Alright.
this is part of the.
We